Yeah, and what are some of the most common questions that you get asked regarding? I mean,
about hosting?
I know you've obviously covered a couple now, but what are some of the kind of other common ones? Because I know probably like people might find that it's cheaper overseas, but obviously not knowing.
I think cost is definitely a big one.
Yeah.
Like anything, you generally get what you pay for. Unfortunately, in web development and particularly in hosting, a lot of the larger companies know that you don't know the difference, and so you could easily be oversold something that you really don't need. So I think it's really important, whoever you're getting to do your hosting, is to review it regularly and make sure you're only paying for what you actually need. Hosting is very much like a phone contract, in that you can have a 100 gig plan or you can have a 200 gig plan. But if you only need 1 gig per month of data, then only pay for 1 gig. There's no point being on a 100 gig plan if you only need a gig.
Interesting. And what do you think are some of the, I guess, the considerations that people need to, think about before they do? Because if you, tell me if I'm wrong, if you do change hosting, do you like potentially lose your positioning on the web, or can it affect your like leads to your website? If
you're generally moving from one hosting company to another hosting company, there should be no difference whatsoever to Google. If you happen to change countries, maybe, if you went from a US to Australia or vice versa, then maybe you may notice a slight fluctuation. But I think the most important thing to ask yourself is, how important is my website to my business? And I think people they compare $10 a month with $11 a month, and then forget that their website generates $10,000 a day in sales. In the scheme of things, the hosting cost is generally very little. However, there's no reason to make sure you're not getting a good service.
And it can cost you a lot if it goes down and it's not
Absolutely,
working. So it can cost you a lot more.
I think the biggest consideration is reliability. A lot of web hosting companies will advertise a 99.99% guarantee, but that applies to the servers, not the actual website itself.